Money in the Bank is behind us. SummerSlam is on the horizon. Let's do this thing. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Raw from the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. I originally wasn't going to review this, but decided why not. You know what? There were some entertaining moments. Some of the matches got in the way of some of the entertaining moments, but nevertheless, Rhea Ripley is back, so that may have just hooked me to review more of Raw. I don't know if I'm going to review Raw next week, though, because there's another Regal mystery movie, and I might be tired. So if you don't see a Raw review next week, that's your warning. Also, in regards to SummerSlam, I will not be watching it live. Unfortunately, I have to do a back-to-back, series of shifts. I have to close that night, and I have to open Sunday. I hope to be able to review it very late Saturday, early Sunday. It's just going to depend, but the review will be up in due time. And I apologize if there's been some inconsistency with some of the reviews, but guys, I've been kind of getting burned out with some wrestling, so I've been diving into more movies. I also got a lot of work that I'm doing, and I'm trying to take a little bit of time for myself when able. So I apologize if there's any breaks in the schedule. That being said, let's crack on. So yeah, Money in the Bank wasn't very good. Heat Wave, I actually did review that. For whatever reason, people wanted me to review that. That review's up on the channel. So, yeah, Punk is here. It's Canadian Maple Punk, which just sounds like, I don't know, like the most Canadian punk band. Like Mussolini, like a literal moose will be marching through. I don't know anything about Canada beyond apparently they have a lot of moose up there. So, everybody's still in Canada, you poor saps. I'm sorry to every Canadian follower and viewer. I'm sorry. No, in all seriousness, Canada has a lot of great, passionate wrestling fans, some great crowds, except if you go to Vancouver. You don't really get much out of Vancouver. So, nevertheless, he tells Cena, thank you, and hopefully I get to face you before you officially retire. Why the hell not? I think they're going to have Cena and R-Truth win the tag titles for just a brief spell. So, he talks about Drew, the consequences, all the stuff going on, him being injured, him costing Drew, all this back and forth, the consequences of all your stupid actions. Check this out on YouTube. The full segment ought to be on there. And he's like, I got fined $25,000 for my actions. That's fine. Drew got fined double that because he just can't keep his mouth shut. And he tells Pierce, please lift Drew's suspension because I got to face him. I don't care if I got to face him in the ring, in the crowd, in the parking lot. There's people on this side of the camera. At least one wrestling promotion can put fans on that side of the camera. That's funny. See, that's funny because one company is able to market itself well and the other can't. And I hate saying that too because I was at a show where they actually had fans on that side of the camera, and that was about a year and a half ago. Nevertheless, he basically, I did kind of find it funny where he says, you don't gotta, you don't gotta, he said something about tricking on it or whatever the hell that is. I don't know what the hell that means. Explain that line to me. I don't understand. I'm 43 years old and not hip with anything. Here's Rollins. Punk sits at the desk to comment on how Rollins takes forever with his entrance. Rollins is pretty upset. Understandable, because Rollins wanted to win the World Heavyweight title and per the stipulation, is not able to challenge for it again. So Punk tries to apologize. Rollins kind of basically says, yeah, none of it's ever really your fault. It's always someone else's fault. To be fair, Rollins has a point about some of it. But basically says, this, winning the title wasn't just a pipe dream. You took that from me. Now I'm going to take things from you. And there you go. All right. We got that settled. Punk versus Rollins at some point. I don't know if they can nurse this thing till Mania. If they can, I'd be all for it. But we're getting Punk and Drew at SummerSlam. And we're getting Rollins involved in something. So, Dominic wants out of the mixed tag, but Liv wants to talk strategy. Liv wants to basically say, we need to grapple and we need to do things and whatever. And don't worry, I've got something special for that segment. And then Jay took on Gable in a match that started 30 minutes into the show. They went to the break right, away. And then at one point, Gable missed a diving headbutt. So don't worry, those dogs don't have to be put in the enclosed pool area. The side garage door doesn't have to be left open. The kids don't have to be taken by the wife somewhere else for cable. No, let go of that phone cord. Why? Why do we do this? Why? Oh, I don't care anymore. Yeah, the Wyatt lights come out. Jay ends up winning, and then Jay smartly runs away. And then Gable has to act all scared of Nikki Cross in a stupid mask. And all this... I know it's for Bray. I get it. This is fucking abysmal. I'm sorry. They started way over here with all the, the murder hoopla. You can't go backwards and do that and then try to build up to that. I mean, it would have been stupid if they had done the murder hoopla thing eventually, but you could have at least tried to build it. You might have given some people a reason to care, but let's go with shocking moments. This isn't wrestling. I'm sorry. The smoke machine stuff, it's stupid. It's like a PS1 game or an N64 game. Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter, Silent Hill 1 and 2. I think only Silent Hill 1 actually was on the PS, but nevertheless. So, yeah, Nikki hands a tape to Pat, I believe. And it's Pat and... No, not It's Pat. No, not that segment. Good God, that was a terrible freaking segment on SNL. An even worse movie that I actually watched. So, yeah, we have, more tape stuff. Why are they using tapes? Who the fuck still has a VCR? I used to have a VCR DVD combo, and that thing went kaput at least 6-7 years ago. It might have been 10 years ago. But god damn it. And Sheamus and suddenly is back there with Jackie and says, well, that was weird. So now everybody's in on it. And they know it's weird and ridiculous. Then Jackie remembered that she's interviewing Sheamus, the large mid-40s, Irish guy that's right there in front of you, Jackie. How do you not see him? So yeah, anyway, we're going to get Here Comes Bronson versus Sheamus at some point. I'm all for that. Is Kaiser okay? I know Kaiser was holding his arm. Hopefully he's going to be all right soon. Here Comes Bronson faced off against Peter Dunne. Beta's out for a bit. Apparently he suffered a leg injury or an arm injury of some kind. Somebody told me what it was, and I just didn't bother caring because it took place on NXT. So don't let the size fool you. See, I say that to women, and they still laugh at me. So eventually he hit a tsunami for 3. This is after Pete Dunne had to violently finger Here Comes Bronson. And then Sheamus saves Dunne, but oh no, Pete is done with Sheamus. More bad puns coming. More Judgment Day stuff. Rollins wants to talk to Priest. Rollins says, I accept the terms of the deal. Priest says, you know what? When I'm done with Gunther, forget that. I'll go to war with you again. Stipulations mean nothing. And yes, okay, addressing quickly the Falcon Arrow thing. Priest should have kicked out. Maybe he got knocked silly. Maybe the production team forgot to hit Drew's music. I don't know. These things happen. So anyway, Priest is then on the phone with somebody and says, you're almost here. Well, good. Yeah. See, where are you at? See you soon. It's Rhea, obviously. Sammy comes out to a pop, dressed up like a red-green stunt double. That is a deep cut. Who the fuck remembers red-green on this channel? There's probably 5 people watching this, and I might be overdoing that. He says that he beat Braun. It was tough, but he beat him. And then here's Steiner. Says, I came out here to basically look you in the eye and look at the man who beat me. And I don't really deserve a title shot. What can I do to get another title shot? And then he spears Sammy. And then agents come out. Then he does a rotate around spear and spears him again. And then Ilya comes out. Why are you beating him? Up. Ilya, the best part about Ilya is he doesn't walk. He's rushing out there. Had to be said. Dragunov wants Steiner, and Pierce says, you got it. Yeah, baby, you got it. He's your Steiner. He's your breaker, and he's going to spear you. Who sung that song? If you can figure out what the beat is, because we got the beat. That's not even the same song or the same band. So, Braun and Awesome Truth, or the big Strowman that has no mobility in his knees at all. Why is he back? So they took on Judgment Day members Carlito, Balor, and Mini Balor. Strowman chased JD out of there, and his head knocked half the rows away or whatever as he was running away. He turned his head and he cold cock knocked out a kid. Wherever that kid is not going to wake up till tomorrow. So yeah, Balor pinned Truth. I forgot the Judgment Day won the tag titles. That's how little the tag titles mean. So Pierce is talking to Punk and says, okay, look, we're going to clear the air. I can feel it calling in the air tonight. We're going to clear the air next week. I'm going to invite Drew. Here's the funniest. I'm going to invite Drew. You need to stay at home. A boss willing to bring the parties together eventually to clear the air so they can do business. God, if only another company that employed Punk recently had done that. People can say what they want to say. I'm just going to go off on a little side, topic here. Because I wanted to say this for a bit. I'm not the absolute biggest fan of everything that Punk did while he was in AEW. And yes, he got injured. And yes, his body was breaking down. I admit that. Even if the injuries hadn't happened, it was going to self-destruct. It was going to self-destruct because Punk was willing to do serious pro wrestling, or as serious as he could, and that didn't jive with what the Bucks wanted to do, or with what Jericho wanted to do, or with what Jack Perry wanted to do. And it got to the point where things were going to fracture. The problem is Punk now is earning millions working for WWE even while injured, and he means more to that company than he meant to AEW, even though he helped get them their first ever $1 million pay-per-view gate, maybe their first $2 million pay-per-view gates. I get it. I'm not saying that I'm the absolute biggest fan of Punk, but I'm going to side with Punk on this thing because guess what? He came out better, and AEW is struggling because Tony Khan put his faith in a bunch of people that can't fucking wrestle, can't draw shit, and can't do anything right, and can't recognize that they are the problem. And that is why, even if that company gets a new television deal, and hopefully they do, because there are good people in that company, and talented young people, men, women, animal, vegetable, mineral, whatever, that deserve a platform to be able to do what they do. Punk could have handled or helped with that. He could have really, really helped. Because Collision doesn't mean shit anymore, even with the talents trying. Rampage hasn't meant shit since Punk basically made his debut on it. I mean, after the first, 3-4 months, Rampage was basically toast. And attendance is down, all this stuff's down, and it is all at the feet. It's at the feet of Khan. It's also at the feet of the Bucks and their cronies. They're cronies that don't deserve a goddamn dime from wrestling because they aren't any good at it. That being said, Punk's doing his thing here. Liv isn't stretching Dominic. Stop it, Kier. You stop it. I swear to God, Kier, I know you're thinking about it. You stop it. You get some goddamn help. Don't channel Dolph Ziggler. It should have been me. Who would want a dirty blonde in short shorts stretching them? I certainly wouldn't. Stop it, Kier. Kier's a good guy. I just had to say that because I haven't said that for a couple weeks. But they're stretching. Priest is like, hey, come and look at this. And everybody else in Judgment Day just peers around the corner like it's a goddamn Three Stooges sketch. And then Liv runs off and Priest is like, what the hell? What are you doing? It's not that hard. And Carlito looks pretty hard to me. They're like, bro, it's just, I hate that made me laugh, and I hate that that's probably the most memorable thing that Carlito has done since coming back at Backlash last year. Whatever. It's fine. Okay, so the tape has Bo. I believe a line that was said during this was, grief is the price you pay for love. Look, it's obviously tearing him up. They lost his brother. Hadn't even been a year since Bray passed away. Shockingly, tragically. And it's great. It's great for movies, not for wrestling. This is the kind of shit I don't want to fucking see. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that offends you guys. You guys can like it all you want. You can think that it's good for the program. It's not. It is not beneficial because it's not pro wrestling. It's not even entertainment. But they're probably going to do more of this shit, especially when they go to Netflix. Here's the thing, guys. They're going to have to get in the ring at some point. And Bo's a fine worker. Gacy's fine. Rowan's never really been all that good. Loomis, I don't know how old Loomis is, but I don't think he's got that many years left. And they're going to want to put Nikki Cross in. Nikki Cross, who's fine. And they're going to bring Alexa back. Alexa, who has regressed and regressed and regressed and regressed every single goddamn month that she has been in this company. And they want to put her in this group. It is going to goddamn look like the worst parts of the New Blood Millionaires Club storyline. I'm glad they're not going to do this at SummerSlam. Good God, if they do a match at SummerSlam, we are screwed. They're going to have to get in the ring, guys, and it ain't going to work. So anyway, Gable could have been something. I've pretty much written off Gable because I can't do this. I can't. If they're going to tie him to the Wyatt stuff, it's just bad. It's really bad. It's bad television. I'm sorry. And Bo is in Pierce's office. We don't see Pierce again. So Pierce evidently got eaten, bones and all. I would have rather rewatched Bones and all rather than watch any of this Wyatt shit. I'm sorry, it's not for me. It's bullshit. Honoring him or not, it's bullshit. Not even anything against the people involved. So, I did like one line about Pierce or whatever, where he talked about Drew, his attack, and then Jackie was in fear for her life. And that's funny. Because that's what you do. You joke around about that stuff or whatever. Because a real boss wouldn't be in fear for their goddamn life. And wouldn't show footage that would basically not help their case. Damage control package. They are bound and determined to win. Steiner took on Dragunov. That ended in a DQ. Because Steiner decided to throw a chair at him. It wasn't a bad match. Somebody compared Dragunov's actions in a match a few minutes into Anxiety and Inside Out 2, and now I can't unsee it. And Sammy comes down to stop Steiner, and then he gets stopped. Priest is, focused. He's looking to face Gunther, looking forward to facing Gunther and beating him. And then the final testament is god-awful. This is what they brought back Paul Ellering for. Paul Ellering, who managed the Road Warriors to great success, who's a great talker. And this is what they do. And I'm sorry. People say there is a vision for Karrion Kross to succeed in WWE. And that vision is going to be about as level as Shawn Michaels trying to do a proper eye test. So, Lyra and the K&K crew, Caden and Katana. I know that Kross said stuff. I don't give a shit. I don't care what he said. I don't care what Scarlett said. I don't care why AOP's there. None of this is good. Lyra and the K&K crew took on Damage Control. Jumpstart, and I like Lyra, but they're making me want to watch the... They're going to force me to watch these two. Okay, Caden's not bad. Katana is a lost cause. She can do athletic shit, and she maybe hits it 50% of the time. Io eventually tops Caden. It should have been me. 1, 2, 3. It was fine. Kyrie does not look like she wants to be there. I'm just noticing that more and more. And Zoe, Sonya, and Shayna Baszler suddenly attack. And we're getting a trio of Scissor Sisters going on here. I've seen movies start this way. See, Zoe instantly started attacking Io because she attacked Japanese people just like she did when she was part of the First Imperial War. But nevertheless, Io gets attacked. So who are the faces here? Who are the faces? And I love Sonya. I'm glad she's still there, but I don't know if this is going to work. And no amount of trying. I'm glad Zoe's all right because it looked like she basically gave herself, Dynamite Kid levels of CTE with that shit at Money in the Bank. But whatever. And then they're ready to take over. Jackie's interviewing them, and then goddamn Isla, Jesus, Isla and Alba show up. Alba was there, but I really was only paying attention to Isla, who looks great. Don't get me wrong. No disrespect to Alba. But Jesus. And then Jackie suddenly looks around. It looks like the tag champs have something to say. Yes, Jackie. Yes, we heard them. We just heard them say this. Could you have any situational awareness? Whatever, it's fine. Sure, she's trying. I don't know why she's trying to channel Jim Crockett Jr. on camera. Jim Crockett Jr. now. Mean. I'm sure she's nice. The Gunther package. He is ready to take over and eradicate in order to implement, not finishing. So, Liv and Dominic took on Rey and Zelina. The whole theme of this is when is Rhea going to show up? At one point, Dominic went right into Liv's box. And, so that was funny comedy. And then they were doing some things. There was a chair slid in. Liv stopped Ray and Dominic at the frog splash. 1, 2, 3. They're celebrating. It looks like Dominic should just go right forward with Liv. And then suddenly, this is my brutality. And Rhea shows up. And Rhea is pissed. She is hot in more ways than one. And she is marching down to the ring. Liv scatters out of there. I haven't seen a dirty blonde run that fast out of a place since my last date in college. But she's running away, and she just gets Dominic under the chin and everything. And God, who wouldn't want to be treated like that by Rhea? But nevertheless, I run a clean show here. I'm not egregiously horny. You're all egregiously horny. But yeah, that being said, that is it for Raw, because Rhea's back. So, again, I don't know if I'm going to review it next week. I don't know what the mystery movie's going to be. And also, since I'm getting burned out, I don't know how much I'm going to review week to week to week. We'll see. So, yeah, I'm just going to crumple these up. So, agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.